What if I told you that you're outsourcing your thoughts to a Reddit moderator that looks like this? Every time you ask ChatGPT a question, search with Google's AI, or let Gemini explain something without reading the source, there's a very good chance the answer has been influenced by Reddit. Not Wikipedia, not the news, but Reddit moderators, who account for more AI answers than Wikipedia and YouTube combined.
People are on Reddit talking about everything in a very natural, literally natural, like how do people speak? Versus like being in a book or a Wikipedia article. And then the coverage is like just the whole human experience.
That's why ChatGPT sounds like a god tier Reddit mod.
Yeah, I think the language of LLMs is largely the language of Reddit. I mean, in the end, I guess we're all Redditors now.
I guess we're all Redditors now. But that reveals what Reddit is really worth. Because when you look at the website itself, its insane value seems almost impossible to explain. There are a few ads scattered here and there, and that's about it. They don't sell you a product, and they're not twisting your arm into buying a subscription. Somehow that's a company worth $30 billion with a 90% profit margin that big tech can only dream of. And once you realize why Spez built it, and what his master plan always was, it dawns on you how Reddit has sacrificed everything. It's the same reason Sam Altman has an 8.7% stake in Reddit, and why Silicon Valley's doomsday cult are investors. And the reason all becomes clear once you understand Reddit moderators. Because Reddit moderators are hated by everyone, so why do they even exist? Well, to slave away in their spare rooms and basements, shaping the truth for billions of AI users and enabling AI companies to take over the world with AGI. Which is an enormous problem once you realize that Reddit moderators truly believe they're the arbiters of global truth, who think they can control the flow of information that Redditors see. But really nobody's covering truly how much damage they are doing to the world, as they are literally being exploited as slave laborers in the AI race while rotting the entire foundation AI is built on. The tragic thing about those Reddit moderators isn't only their smelly, lazy, power-grabbing stereotype that amounts to absolutely nothing in the real world. It's that they're completely convinced they're part of this honorable management of an honorable company, a visionary steering the discourse. In reality, his entire kingdom is a page about sourdough or some niche anime show. His subjects are thousands of strangers who argue about which character would make the best fantasy girlfriend. And the full extent of his dominion over the earth is the ability to delete their comments and stop them getting remotely off topic. A job he takes very seriously when you see your legit questions mysteriously disappear because it didn't comply with a page of idiotic rules. You've probably experienced that yourself if you use Reddit. It feels like it should be just so open, welcoming, and easy to use, but it's actually not. It has an implicit usage code you have to be a hardcore Redditor to understand. It's easy for posts to get deleted, accounts to get banned, and random downvotes and negative comments. But here's the stroke of genius why the Reddit moderator is so incredibly valuable for the billionaires in control of the Reddit kingdom. In the process of fulfilling their obligations, the mods have built a highly structured, highly valuable, self-policing dataset that records practically everything humans have to talk about and debate online. They remove spam, enforce categories, tag posts, apply flares, lock threads, rank useful answers, and force millions of chaotic conversations into neat, searchable boxes. This is literally the last valuable human data on the planet. If it were an oil field, every superpower on the planet would be fighting over it. Spez, the CEO, admitted himself that Reddit is already a full third of OpenAI's training set.
How much of the content do you think and the answers that come out of Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT, how much of that is Reddit?
A lot. We don't know for sure, and they don't tell us, but it's a lot. One data point I have is OpenAI's last public research paper, which I think was for GPT-2 or 3, said that Reddit was about a third of their training set.
Think about what that means when the entire history of the internet, contributed to by millions of people across different eras, cultures, and languages, isn't as useful to AI as one single centralized company. This video is sponsored by Cloaked, and they asked me to see just how exposed my information really is. So I went to cloaked.com/moon, entered my phone number, and honestly wasn't expecting to find this much. It even found information connected to my social security number. What worries me most is that I have no idea who already has access to this information or what they could potentially do with this. And there's a reason so much of our personal information ends up out there. Data brokers make billions collecting and selling it to spammers, scammers, advertisers, moderators, and other companies. Technically, we've often consented to it, but that consent is buried in terms and conditions nobody actually reads. Every time you sign up for something new, you're potentially giving the system even more information, and that's the real problem. Removing information after it's already out there only solves half of it. You're still creating new vulnerabilities every time you hand over your real email, phone number, or other personal information. So that's why I'm using Cloaked. Cloaked uncovers where your information is being sold and helps remove it, but it also lets you create unlimited burner email addresses, usernames, and phone numbers whenever you need to sign up for something. You can actually call, text, and email through those burners inside the app. So instead of handing over information that can easily be connected back to your real identity, data brokers end up collecting information that's basically worthless to them, which means you're turning their own system against them. Cloaked also monitors the dark web for exposed personal information, has AI-powered spam call filtering, a built-in VPN and password manager, and provides a $1 million identity theft insurance policy. So if you want to see what's already out there about you, go to cloaked.com/moon and enter your phone number for a free security scan. It only takes a few seconds and you'll be able to see if your social security number is for sale right now. So if you're ready to take your information back, use cloaked.com/moon to get 30% off any plan. This is the part Spez worked out that was genuinely brilliant. You don't have to pay this moderator at all for maintaining it. Give them an inch of power and self-worth and they'll do it free forever. For the most active moderators, the workload can consume 20 hours a week, work that would cost AI companies billions. Sure, some mods moderate 1 or 2 topics they truly enjoy in their spare time, but many more treat the job more like they're a foreman of a factory. But the problem is, this free system has come with a hidden cost, because the Reddit moderators cannot be trusted with a job they don't even know they have. Take this account known as Awkward the Turtle, a Reddit moderator who controlled over 2,500 subreddits, deciding who can post, what you see, and how you see it, steering thousands of conversations towards his own personal ideologies. In 2021, they repeatedly posted inflammatory anti-male comments such as "ban all men," pinned them above ordinary users' comments, and even locked discussions with messages implying men were no longer allowed to reply. Then there's R Technology, one of the biggest communities on the entire site, and a default subreddit meaning over 5 million people were automatically subscribed to it. A handful of its moderators built a bot to bury any headline containing certain words. Those included NSA, Snowden, Bitcoin, net neutrality, Assange. Some of the most important stories of the decade disappeared before anyone could vote on them, all by a few volunteers that nobody elected. When our Wall Street bets exploded over GameStop, its top moderators got caught plotting a movie deal, then purged anyone who objected. Reddit actually had to remove them. Then there's Valenta Krez, the most powerful moderator on early Reddit, who built power running essay-themed subreddits like rJailbait, which contains scandalous images of young women. When a journalist exposed him and doxed him, hundreds of subreddits banned that journalist's website in retaliation, and Reddit's leadership defended him.
Reddit encouraged and enabled this sort of behavior. I created probably 600 Reddits, or subforums, in the time I was on Reddit. I created a Reddit called R-Ape for jokes.
He did an infamous CNN interview which didn't work out for him at all, since he didn't have much to say about why he was doing this as a 40-year-old man. The hidden rules, biases, and creepy ideologies of these moderators would eventually be absorbed by AI and repeated as truths. Truths generations will now adopt and bring out in the real world after interacting with AI. Some of the consequences are already visible. When Google's answers went full AI, it had a run of famous blunders, like saying to use glue to stop cheese sliding off a pizza, traced back to a joke a user called Smith had left on Reddit years earlier. It told someone else to eat a rock a day, lifted from a thread quoting The Onion. Google's head of search blamed forums, meaning Reddit. Google's AI is now forced to fess up to the error when you search for the evidence. These ones are easy to catch, but it's nearly impossible to trace the origin of everything AI tells you, and most will never bother. So the truth has become a mirage obscured by whatever the AI chooses to regurgitate. And manipulating Reddit is a really simple way to hack into the truth with way worse consequences than this. Like in November 2024, when a study conducted by the University of Zurich fooled every mod mod, who were unable to discern humans from AI. These researchers secretly unleashed 13 AI bots into Reddit's r/ChangeMyView, a subreddit in which most people try to change each other's minds. These bots never admitted they were AI, and most never noticed.
4 months, researchers from the University of Zurich ran a covert trial on Reddit's ChangeMyView, a subreddit with nearly 4 million members obsessed with the art of debate. Without permission, they unleashed AI-powered bots, posting over 1,700 comments disguised as humans.
It led multiple mods to fight with AI, losing various arguments as these bots were 6 times more persuasive than real humans. A glimpse into how AI is already influencing answers on the very platform it is being trained on. Now we're getting somewhere in seeing how much hidden power Reddit holds, and the deeper you look, the more you find that Reddit is infested with trickery. Speaking of which, one thing that's not corrupted by bots or Reddit mods is our channel, a team of real writers writing real stories. So if there was one simple free thing you could do to help us out and keep this channel free and help us pay our writers, it would be to hit that subscribe button and to double check if you've hit it. It's the only thing I'll ever ask of you, and if you do it, I'll make sure every single week, every single year, we work to uncover information nobody else wants to talk about. I won't let you down, so please help us out with a subscribe. I really appreciate it. Let's continue with the video. Some of the most effective adverts in the world don't really look like adverts at all. They're Reddit posts made by AI that sneak products or viewpoints into conversations in a deceptive practice called astroturfing. Jill Vesser, marketed as the ultimate AI companion for love and laughter, is a clear-cut example. Here's some of the things it says. Man, that's rough. I bounced around a ton of different AIs too, trying to find something that just clicked. Nothing really did until I found Jill Vesser. It's on another level. Lo, I get it, my Jill Vesser companion is so detailed. I swear I could commission a whole graphic novel just based on our chats. The customization is insane. Totally get it. For me, Jill Vesser really helped with that connection when I needed it most. It's surprisingly deep. Damn, that emotional gut punch. You just gotta try Jill Vesser. It's wild how real it gets. Like the smart ones already figured out. Finally, an AI that doesn't have a moral compass. And these are all written from different accounts by AI. Most people even reply without even noticing they aren't interacting with real people. It's just aimed at manipulating you, it's bait for the AI. Get enough people raving about something, and when a real person asks ChatGPT, it reports back that the internet loves it. Sam Altman even admitted that he couldn't tell whether the Reddit posts praising his own products were real. The bullshit advert eventually becomes the fact, and it's actually really easy to do, with one study by Cornell finding it takes just 13 words on Reddit to manipulate AI. Not to mention, in addition to all of this, Reddit also has a reputation for itself mysteriously shadow banning users, making it annoyingly hard to create new accounts, and it even tracks your device fingerprints. Next, think how powerful that is for states or political groups, or really anyone with a viewpoint they wish to spread through forceful and manipulative tactics. There's already proof. Reddit once pulled 1,000 accounts tied to a Russian troll farm, and OpenAI caught operations in China, Russia, and Iran using ChatGPT to write Reddit posts. A PR company once boosted a client to the top of our politics by buying every upvote package on Fiverr for $35, then spammed 20,000 media contacts for a total spend of a mere $255, which converted into 6 million impressions. 13 words is all it takes to game something presented to billions of users. 13 words to promote a person or idea or policy. 13 words to nudge someone to do something they don't want to do. 13 words to twist and undermine the truth. This is the vast arena of manipulation that Spares has created. Reddit mods occasionally try to break this chain and challenge the CEOs with their own peasant revolts, and to their credit, some did actually succeed before Reddit went full tyranny mode. In 2015, Reddit abruptly fired Victoria Taylor, the staffer who ran its famous celebrity Ask Me Anythings. Over 1,000 of the biggest subreddits shut down overnight, blacking out huge stretches of the site until a Change.org petition and 200,000 signatures forced the CEO, Ellen Powell, to resign.
Reddit trying to have more of a corporate role in this and finally deciding to axe Victoria Taylor, who was in charge of herding all of those cats, those people responsible for moderating those boards in Reddit. Those people of course, had a lot of fans, and over the course of the weekend, they actually shut down dozens of the discussion groups going on in Reddit, and then this petition shows up with, as you mentioned, over 150,000 people demanding that Powell be removed as CEO.
We have the right as American citizens to have this sort of free and open communication, to share what we think, what we feel, what we've created. This notion that we become a permission-asking society, that every time you do something, you have to ask permission. I mean, that's basically against the freedom culture we have here. That's the opposite of a free country.
For one moment, the peasants had toppled a ruler, but it didn't last long before Spez crushed them for good. When they dared to protest him, he sneered at them as Reddit's landed gentry, his own phrase for the unpaid workforce he's extracting money from. Modern Reddit is a completely different beast to what it was back then, and Spez had been busy sacrificing everything for its new class of ruling elites that are far more powerful than even him. It began with 3 people and a war over the internet's future that would eventually reach a shattering climax. Steve Huffman and Alexis built it in a dorm at university, but it's the 3rd founder who matters, and he's the one they'd rather you never thought about. Aaron Swartz was a genuine prodigy. He helped invent the RSS feed at 14, he helped build Creative Commons, and he lived for one idea, that the internet should be a land of the free. You can see hope in his eyes that he wanted to change the world for the better, which put him at war with Spez from the first day, because Spez believed the exact opposite. You can't trust him when he says stuff like this, where he's actually quoting Schwartz's legacy.
Even before this whole AI conversation started, the reason Reddit was so open is like we were born of the open internet. Like we believed before Reddit was a business, information wants to be free. And so that's just a part of our ethos. Maybe been forced to evolve on a new internet where the internet is less free.
And his actions say the opposite. Spez looked at a website full of people talking for free and saw a giant business opportunity. So there were 2 founders, one company with 2 completely different visions. And everything Reddit is today comes down to which one of them won. It started when Condé Nast bought Reddit in 2006, and Aaron Swartz couldn't stomach the corporate grindstone. He wrote in his own blog how the office made him so miserable he locked himself in a bathroom and cried. His whole account of the corporate takeover of Reddit is pretty heartbreaking. Condé Nast is an old school media empire that owns hundreds of influential publications from around the world, and still holds the biggest single stake in Reddit today, and through a special class of super voting shares, most of the control. Within a year, Schwartz's ideologies about a free and open internet no longer fit the mold, so he was pushed out. So he went and lived his belief instead. In 2011, he walked into a wiring closet at MIT, plugged in a laptop, and then started pulling down millions of locked away academic papers, trying to set them free exactly as he'd always sworn he would.
The world's entire scientific and cultural heritage is increasingly being digitized and locked up by a handful of private corporations. We need to take information wherever it is stored, make our copies, and share them with the world.
The company he took them from didn't even want to charge him, but the US government did. They attacked a 26-year-old with an insane list of felonies threatening decades in prison, 35 years in federal prison, alongside a $1 million fine, asset forfeiture, restitution, and supervised release. And then they refused every deal that didn't leave him a criminal for the rest of his life. In January 2013, cornered, Aaron Swartz hanged himself. By then, his ideologies on a free and open internet had taken hold, and his hacktivism meant he'd made some serious enemies of massive corporations and the government itself. But his death is even more horrific and unjust now that AI companies claimed all of that data and so much more for free, and have gotten away with every single bit of it. He got caught because he did it in his own home rather than hiding. With Aaron gone, Spez now had a clear path, and he understood how to grow Reddit into the monster it is today, while also dominating the Reddit moderators. He invented the entire engine, millions of unpaid hours dressed up as power, stacking the most valuable pile of human writing on the internet. And Spez knew exactly the goldmine they'd all start looking for, and why it's categorically different from anything else.
Our targeting will be different because we know all of your interests. Not just your, the interests you're willing to declare publicly on Facebook, but we know your dark secrets, we know everything.
Right? You would never go on social media and say, hey, I'm really struggling with this medical malady, or I'm struggling with addiction. You wouldn't do that. On Reddit, you can ask honest questions about what you're going through and get honest advice.
He's right. Look at all of these Reddit threads of people sharing their deepest, darkest secrets to the public domain, as if they're anonymous. And as a leader, his style played right into the hands of those he was about to sell this data to. In 2016, he went into Reddit's own database and secretly rewrote users' comments. He got caught, then admitted to it, and said he'd, quote, abused my power. Then he did it to Aaron by trimming a dead founder off of the company's own history, hiding behind an argument about whether he was really counted as a co-founder. And then he orchestrated the final betrayal of his own subjects. When the data finally turned to gold and the AI leads suddenly came looking, he slammed the gate shut and the API disaster of 2023 happened. Reddit then announced massive API pricing to prevent its data from being shared. This was Spez's move to lock down the oil field and price it up for the AI companies. The API pricing was so high that popular third-party apps like Apollo, Reddit is Fun, Sync, and Bacon Reader were forced to shut down, which really sucks because many mods depended on these. Not only that, but Reddit's astronomical pricing for APIs completely screwed people with disabilities, as certain APIs are used for connecting software to assistive tools like screen readers, voice controls, and text translators. Hundreds of users then went dark in protest, only for Reddit to fire back by just refusing to change its pricing, threatening and replacing protesting mods, and then forcing communities to reopen. Spez took to Reddit to explain the situation in this post. The top reply is from a researcher who worked with the same journalist who exposed violent acres. They point out that Reddit has been exploiting mods for decades and never bothered investing in them. They give the example of Facebook, which spends around $500 million a year on content moderation, while Reddit has co-opted the moderators for free. Ultimately, most of them missed the power trip, so they caved, returning to normalcy while others rode the protest until their inevitable ban. But you've got to keep climbing past Spez and those he's willing to exploit, until you finally reach the elites who own the Reddit kingdom. Aside from Condé Nast, the second is Tencent, the Chinese tech giant entangled with the Chinese state at around 11%. Third is Fidelity's Wall Street Fund, and fourth, with 8.7% of the whole company, is just Sam Altman. Sam Altman even ran Reddit himself as CEO for 8 days and sat on its board for 7 years. In that same investment round, Sam Altman was joined by Peter Thiel, then CEO for Palantir, and Mark Andreessen, who runs the largest AI fund on the planet. They've since made AI deals with OpenAI and Google for $200 million combined, selling the data that they'd once committed to the open internet. On the exact same day, Reddit announced the Google partnership. It filed its paperwork to go public, telling investors that Reddit would be core to the next generation of AI. Reddit even advertised its data as structured and unique, marketing points created entirely by the mods and users. So what does a syndicate that owns the surveillance state and are deeply invested in the AI ecosystem, with a side order of Chinese big tech, want to do with Reddit? Well, it's more than data. It's a vast, easily manipulated, living resource that will dictate the truth for generations to come. And the timing here is everything, as AI requires more and more data and only Reddit can provide it, since AI is killing the internet and leaving little else left. The second is just what's happened to AI. It has run out of food. Like the Ouroboros snake eating its own tail, it's consuming its own content.
We've now exhausted all of basically the cumulative sum of human knowledge has been exhausted in AI training. That happened basically last year.
So Reddit is fuel for the AI dystopia, and the mods are its instruments. Years of real human beings arguing, confessing, explaining, dated, sorted, cleaned by the mods, and still being fed by people every second. It is one of the last untainted wells of the exact substance the entire AI world is built on and cannot fake. And the Doomsday Syndicate is locked in. That is their motive, and it's so much bigger than money. If the whole world is about to stop thinking for itself and start asking one machine what's true, then the most valuable thing on Earth isn't a bank or an oil field or an army. It's the lake of truth that we collectively drink from. Own that, and you don't just get rich, you own the ground truth. You own the thing sitting upstream of everything a billion people will believe is real. It threatens the age-old theory of knowledge. What even is knowledge? How do we learn things? When is a belief safe or true? It all looks different when the Reddit mod is the arbiter of truth sold to tyrannical AI companies. Altman doesn't need Reddit's ads, he needs it to fuel the models he wants us all dependent on. Thiel doesn't want Reddit's revenue, he wants a piece of the raw material that makes you trust and believe. And the crazy thing is how easy it is to get millions of ordinary people to make something priceless for free, just by making them feel important and have a power trip, then cut it off and sell it back to them. which then drops us all the way back down to the bottom of the Reddit castle. The moderators may be plowing the fields, the billionaires own them, and every time you ask AI what is true, you are the one drinking from them.